Hello everyone, I am Syed Asrar, and in this video I want to talk on the bridge or the necessity of the bridge between academia and industry. There is a huge gap between academia and industry, and it has always been a topic of debate of why isn't academics as advanced and why doesn't it just keep up with the pace of industry. And there has been a topic of debate where the schools or the business schools have become a reason of this debate and have become in fact a punching bag of the entire thing, as if the only fault is with the academia. These two systems, if you see, academia, I'm using this term in a very, very broad sense, of course. By the term, I mean the entire fraternity of schooling, high schooling, you can tell, in fact, or here in India, it is what we call as college education, and then higher studies after college education. It can be any PG program or even doctorate programs. So that's there. And when it comes to industry, again, I'm taking that in a very broad sense, including MSMEs or any enterprises. It can even be sole proprietorship or big corporates. So when you see there has been a huge gap, a gap that has been always increasing day by day. We have advanced the way we do things in education, in our colleges, and we have advanced the way we do business in industries and the way we provide value to our clients and our customers and our consumers when it comes to services. But what we have failed to do effectively, at least in my observation, is how effectively we integrate both of these things. So there is a huge disconnect between these two units, if I can tell that. So that has been a reason for why there is no interchange of information, there is no exchange of values between these two domains or units. Why is this connection required? I want to stress on that. We all have considered these units, at least majority of us consider these as unit, like one has to go through college education and then one has to enter the industry. I see two domains of economy. In fact, if I can even use the term here, the two major domains of economy which have immense value within themselves are not integrating the value. There is no combined effect. There is no synchronized effect between these two. Definitely, there are few academicians and there are few industry people who have tried to successfully amalgamize that. The first few names that come to my mind are simply Kotler Group, that is Flip Kotler Group, and then Boston Consulting Group is there. So these two are top of me. Being an MBA student, those are the two major names that come to me when I talk about how effectively can you use academics into industry and how can you synchronize both and how can they function as an integrated unit. Those are the major ones, as I just said. So that's there. And now why it is necessary is because, as I said already, I see these as two big powerhouses which once they come together can serve a huge purpose, can dramatically shift the pace at which we do certain things, the pace at which we innovate, the pace at which we learn about, people, we learn about human behavior, or we learn about any part of economy and any part of human transactions. From a small business to big enterprises, they need they need academic knowledge. And that could be argued like, no, our R&D department does that, but actually not. Being someone who has spent 8 years in college education, a year in industry, I can tell one thing very clear, that these both domains have tremendous potential in themselves, and there is a need to integrate both. And we have always been, as I said already, industry thinks colleges as a punching bag, and you're not able to create people who have real talent, you don't teach this, you don't teach that, try to bring this thing. And once they bring the process, the market takes a different turn, and then we all have a new process that has to be implemented in all the domain. And when you see in academics or formal education for that matter, especially colleges, it takes a considerable amount of time for something to come into curriculum, like at least 10 to 15 years. What I believe about systems is systems cannot be changed by people like me and you. This is what I bluntly believe in. You can disagree with me, but truth can't be changed. That's how I see. So definitely, if you have idea to completely entirely change the system, you'll have a better way. But what I believe in is incremental improvement, and that is possible from both the side. Now you can be an entrepreneur, you can be a small business owner, or you can be a corporate member, and have a pessimistic idea about academics because of various reasons. Maybe you didn't get good grades, or you think that it is full of trash, but it is actually not. Especially I can tell you very clearly, spending 8 years as a student, that it is not trash. Why and when did I realize it? Of course, these are incremental realizations and not like eureka moment happened to me. When I was working for my MBA project preparation, MBA thesis, I came across a number of research articles from academic side, journals, that were so valuable and so insightful. And my topic was on technology and implementation and adaptation of technology, and how technology is diffused. I don't want to go into details of that, but the basic idea was the behavioral studies were so much helpful for me, or at least gave me a clear understanding of these things. And I think if there is an integrated approach between both these domains, I think better experience can be granted. And it's not like we have to be the first one. We have the examples of, as I said, the biggies in the game. Even Apple is working along with universities. So big universities are already doing it. There's no doubt in that. But my concern is small businesses. My concern is the retailers. My concern is the small business owners in and around the rural area that you might be living in, or the urban area you might be living in. And the disconnect that they have with the academic treasure, I'd say, of colleges, there is a huge disconnect. So the research, whatever is done in academic domain, has to be shared, and whatever the industry requires has to be shared, and vice versa. So we see a flow of guest lectures from industry to academia. In big universities, you can see this. It is a very common visiting professor. They just give a title and they come from industry, and that is absolutely great. Most of the time they are just trash talking and saying that colleges are way behind. I think that has become a very old talk. Now is the real talk, or at least now is the time for real talk, is how can you as individual contribute your part in making this incremental improvement. I'm not talking about, changing the entire systems. We can't. Simply we can't. No issues with that. We are not going to even try on that thing. What we can work on is what brings value to you, what you can bring value to others, and how you, if you are an industrialist or if you are a small business owner, can benefit from the other side, as I was talking about. And if you are an academician, how can you, with interaction with all those out there, make your performance better? Apprenticeship, internships, projects, you know, institutional project or even company based project, in plant training, a lot of things have tried to fill this gap. But I'm talking about not the formal requirement, but the actual flow of information between both the domains. And when that happens, that's where we actually do something to better our society as a whole, which needs definitely a lot of improvement from people like me and you. And that's what I was thinking about when I was going through all this research article and all these various methods. I came to know we are already a lot, we are way, we have created these barriers within ourselves. I don't know for what reasons. Free flow between academics and between industry has to be there, irrespective of whatever, even MOUs. I think it's time that colleges and institutions sign MOUs not just based on the number of placements and packages and highest packages to get into headlines, but in research contribution, what could be done, both the side. It has to be a symbiotic approach. It has to be a mutualistic approach, and definitely I think we can figure out and come out. Anyone, it can be from any domain. This issue or challenge, I rather call it an opportunity that we have always missed out on. And I think that's my thought process that just went through, and I thought I should talk about it. So that's the end of the video, and thank you for your time. See you later.